beloved son, Nolan. Your very existence fills my heart with boundless joy. Before the world came into being, I chose you to be by my side, to be my treasured son. I can recall the intricate details of your creation as I carefully wove you together before you took your first breath. You bring me immense delight as you reflect my image in your life. Nolan, let your fears dissipate, for I am with you, accompanying you through every moment of your existence. I offer you peace, joy, and rest. Lay down your burdens, knowing that I am here to shoulder them for you. I will never abandon you, and my arms will forever be open to embrace you. An excerpt from The Secret War Within, an allegory by Brett Snodgrass, who we have the great pleasure, everybody, of having on the show today. Brett, man, I loved this book. Genuinely, really loved this book, man. I can see why so many people have been buying it and reading it. Audience, you should certainly do the same. The Secret War Within by Brett Snodgrass. But we got Brett with us today. So, Brett, man, thanks so much for coming on the show, buddy. I'm really glad you're here.
Yeah, no, thanks, Garrett. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for having me, man. I love what you're doing. Love what you're about, business, Christ following, your audience. So thank you again.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. So, well, introduce yourself quickly. You can talk more about the book as well. Audience, just seriously go buy it. The Secret War Within. I genuinely thought it's an allegory. It's easy to read. It was good, man. I read it in a day and a half. It was that good. I didn't want to stop reading it. So, major amazing. Props to you, buddy. Yeah, no doubt. But I know you've got an amazing community, Iron Deep, as well, right? We've had a cool chance to connect before this. But introduce yourself and what you've got going on, man. Then we'll dive into some more of it.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm Brett Snodgrass. I'm a Midwest guy. I live in Indiana, Fort Wayne, Indiana. I'm a Christ follower. I'm a son of the Father in heaven, and I'm a husband to my wife Karen. Got 4 children, and I'm a creator. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a builder. I've been in the real estate business actually for 17 plus years. That's been fun. It's been quite the ride, and real estate's fun. I'm more on the investment side where we buy and we flip houses, we rental houses, seller financing houses. So I'm more on that side. And then, a couple years ago, just kind of dreaming with the Father, and really Iron Deep was kind of born from that. And it's really an organization for men, entrepreneurs that want to go deep in their faith and deep in relationship with other brothers, like-minded brothers. So it's kind of a niche group really in the real estate industry too, a lot, since that's my circles. So a lot of real estate business owner men, Christian. So
I love, but I love that. And ladies, stay on. There's still going to be good stuff here for you, right? We're not just going to talk to the men today.
They're like elbowing their husbands.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you can send it to them. Have them download it. Help us out here. No, but one of the things that I really appreciate about you in general, and then we can get in the book, and I want to talk about Iron Deep. But when you first told me about the heart of what you're trying to do, it was right after I had read a book called Made for People. So we've got a Faithful Agent book club that's actually our first book. It's Made for People, and it's about recapturing the art of biblical friendship. And one of the things is you were sharing with me your heart behind this, right? And so again, this is for men. Ladies, there's other things for you. And in general, the intention here is to have intentional, what he calls in the book, covenantal friendships, right? And so it made me recognize, and then certainly reading The Secret War Within made me recognize, man, I kind of am lacking in that. One of the questions my wife asked me at the end of last year was, how do you think you're doing in friendships? And it was that moment where I realized, truth is, like, my friends are just the people that I work with. I don't know that there's a lot of depth beyond that. And Tyler, who's the co-host on the show, is normally on. Like, he's my best friend. But I even started to realize, man, I think there's kind of a mask I've even put up with him. We're moving at such a speed. It's kind of like no one knows me that well, right? And so when I heard about what you guys are doing with Iron Deep, I thought, man, and again, the book, which we'll get into, but that's something that we should all desire, is just the depth of someone really knowing us, right? Why do you think that's important, Brett? Why is Iron Deep important? Why does just being in relationship with someone at that level, why does that matter?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, one of our core values that we talked about is this radical honesty. I kind of start off with that at our Iron Deep types of events, that at this particular event, we're going to be honest with each other, and I'm going to lead with my honesty, and here's some of my things that I've dealt with or that I'm going through, so here's how I'm going to facilitate, and I have to lead that way and lead first. I think it's just to be known and still be loved is, I mean, I think that's right. You know, we gravitate towards God. You know, if you read the Bible, you know, so many people are going through some messy situations, sinful situations, and we're, you know, life of destruction, but he still loves us. He's still running after us. He still wants to be with us and wrap his arms around us and call us a son, right? And that's what men want. That's what we desire, right? So number one with our Father, but number two with other brothers. And I think, can you hold on just 1 second? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Is this
Dude, you're
live?
good, man. Yeah. No. You're good. Yeah. Well,
Okay,
our
hold
editor
on.
will get
Hold
it.
on just 1 second.
Dude, you're good.
Hey, Garrett, I apologize, man. It's
Dude,
been,
no worries. You okay?
Yeah, it's my 5-year-old. My wife had to go run an errand, and she left my my 5-year-old here.
Nice.
So,
That's fantastic.
here we
That is
go.
awesome. That's amazing, dude. I love that. I've had that. Yeah.
It's raw, man. Here
They
we
come
go.
in and you're like, what?
I
Why are
know.
you guys here? Like, get away.
She's like,
We're almost done.
And I say, I'm on a
Yeah.
podcast. She's like, I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Dude, if you need to go tend to her, please
No.
do that. You sure?
Yeah,
Okay.
you're good. You're good.
Yeah. Okay. So let me mark the next one. So we're kind of resetting here. Okay. So we were talking about why friendships were so important.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And I'll just kind of, so obviously, for me, typically as business owners and entrepreneurs, we're kind of sitting out on this island. And yeah, I mean, I've said many times in my history of the business is like, all my friends are on my payroll, right? I mean, all my friends are my business associates. They're not real friends. So for us, Iron Deep is just a way to get in an undistracted environment, to be completely present with the Father and with each other, to be fully known, not to judge. Hey, let's just come as you are, lay it all out, and let's encourage each other, let's sharpen each other, let's celebrate each other. And that's what we do at Iron Deep. So
That's so cool. I love the concept and the idea of it. I think that the longer that I go as an entrepreneur, the more lonely you do feel, right? There's an aspect of, I was talking with one of my mentors here recently, and one of the things I told him was it's difficult because I feel like I got to show up as a certain way to most people in my life, right? Especially when you don't have those relationships that you intentionally are going to be honest with them, right? It took for me, honestly, relatively recent. I just texted a buddy. He's like, dude, I'm struggling. Can we talk? And it was this realization that I felt like I've just been, like I said, wearing this mask. And even though he's a buddy of mine, I wasn't wasn't really telling him what was going on.
Yeah.
Right. And if you're a business owner, one of the things you're probably good at is talking and getting people to, a little misdirection of, hey, Garrett, oh man, we're doing great, but how are you guys? Right.
Yeah.
We're good at redirecting so that we don't ever have to be super honest with one another, I think. And so I love that that's the heart and the intention behind that. It's extremely necessary for any man or woman. If you are living right now, it is necessary for you. And if you don't have it, go find it, right? If you're a man, iron deep, right? If you're a female, there's other resources out there as well. Or just ask a friend and be intentional with them. I think those things are so important and easily missed, kind of what you're talking about. So The Secret War Within, right? Let's get to the book because it's so good. Again, I'll say many times, go buy it on Amazon, right? The Secret War Within. What is The Secret War Within? Give us an overview, and then I'd love to get into the book a little bit.
Yeah. Really, when I kind of was dreaming and thinking about what I wanted to write, obviously a man in my position, your position, we would write a nonfiction style of book, typically about business, how to achieve something, 7 principles of habits, or whatever that looks like, right? And it's been written 100
Whatever
times.
keyword is there. Yeah, right. Absolutely.
Yeah. So obviously I wanted an element of my story. And if you know my story a little bit, obviously The Secret War Within is some of my story, but I wanted just kind of, and then in the Christian book world, right? Again, Christian book world, typically by pastor, ministry, some author there, typically nonfiction, and watered down a little bit. Great books there. But I wanted something really to speak to a man's soul, something gritty, something that you can pull back the curtain and men can say, wow, like, man, I mean, that's pretty intense. And to write a story, and not just to tell my story, but to write a story where you can draw men into and they can see exactly what's going on. And really, this book's about Nolan Banks. He's a highly successful man. So number one, you're already starting off with a man that typically people are not going to root for because they think, oh, this guy has it all. But right off the bat, it starts off, he's very successful. People look up to him. People want to be him. Very nice office, house, life, family. But you can see the struggles because you can see his thoughts, you can see his feelings, you can see his emotions, and he feels just this void inside, this emptiness, and he can't quite put his finger on it because he has achieved everything that he set out to achieve, and he can't quite figure out why he's feeling this way. And he's starting to struggle and starting to waver and go into different things to numb his reality. And that's, I don't know if men can relate to that, but men typically might go to something, whether it's work, lust, drinks, food, to numb something, their reality. They just don't want to face it. Netflix, work, sports, they just want to numb it. They don't want to really face and be honest with themselves. So that's what he goes to. And then really the secret is that you can kind of see, again, that he desires these things, and he struggles with control over his life. He struggles with money, material power, like wanting all these different things and just control over it all. And those are just some of the secrets that he struggles with. And you can see, again, some of the other struggles that men struggle with, this false sense of identity. They're wrapping your identity into their work, into their money, into their power, recognition, and at the end of it, he's just finding it meaningless. That what it was all for, and why do I put so much emphasis and identity into this? And that is the secret war within. So he gets invited on this adventure that he goes on to find out the answer to that question.
Yeah, one of the things that I love about this story, and I think that it brought the truth from me, made it a little bit more real, was after finishing reading the book, right? One of the things that actually Tyler, again, the co-host normally, and I had a conversation. I said, man, it just brought to mind the reality that I often forget that when we are seeking to do something for the Lord, the devil is right there. I mean,
Yeah.
he's next door, right?
Yeah.
Trying to distract us, trying to pull us out. And I can be naive sometimes and think, well, no, the devil's the devil. He's going to make his schemes so absurd that I'm just going to say, I don't need that, right?
Yeah.
But the reality, he's right there. We're trying to move forward and seek the Lord and all of these things, or we're seeking something good. Like for us, I told Todd, like the faithful agent, right? But how quickly the devil can distract me if I'm not paying attention to say, well, hey, but you know what would be make the faithful agent better is if you became famous, right? Or you made a ton of money or whatever it is. And you're like, oh yeah, that's a good point. And we can become so easily distracted. And the reality of what you talked about is so many things, right? As you unpack this allegory or in this story, the reality of what it looks like the devil offers us, what it looks like the world offers us seems extremely enticing. There's a moment, audience, in the book where Nolan is following the Christ figure in the book and says, don't look left or right, right? The Bones, who's the devil character, is trying to win him over with all of these amazing worldly things. And the Jesus character says, don't look left or right. And eventually he does. And he's basically, I couldn't help myself.
Yeah.
Right. And thankfully Christ comes and rescues him from that, right? The Christ character comes and rescues him from that. But it is this reality as I work through the book and as I process through the book and just what Scripture teaches, we have to be really careful that and recognize part of the need for honest communication with your brothers or honest communication with your sisters is that we don't live in a world where it's just us and God. There is some other factor here, the devil, who is trying to destroy us and distract us from what the Lord has. And unfortunately, he's extremely good